Mary, and today we're going to be doing my April wrap-up. Now, I'm in a different position today. I thought I'd try something else new, and I also have my Goodreads with me so that I don't miss anything I've read this month. So, several of these I own, but I have lent out, and the others I got at the library and have thus been turned in. So, I will have a picture right up here if I don't own it, and don't have it with me. That way you can see the cover, and if you want to, you can go get it yourself. So let's begin. So the first book that I read this month was High Five by Mark Blanchard, and that's one of the leadership teamwork books that my dad gave me to read. You see, I am majoring in business because one day I want to open my own bookstore. But in order to be the best leader I can be, I definitely have to be reading something a little more than what I'm reading now, which is fiction, young adult fiction, fantasy, and that's all great, especially for opening a bookstore and being a booktuber, but there's so much else out there for you to read, so I'm definitely reading some of those, and this is one of the first ones that I've read. I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars because it was so amazing when it came to teaching you about leadership in such a fun way. It wove it into a story, and it was just a really good read. The next book that I read was Lady Midnight, which is the Dark Artifices? I always forget. I can never say that. But it's Lady Midnight, and it's the first one in the new branch off series that has to do with the Blackthorns. That takes place after the Dark War that takes place in the Mortal Instruments series. And so far it was really, really good. It did take me a couple of chapters to get enthralled back into the world of Shadowhunters, but once I was there, there was no putting the book down. We get to see some of our old friends, and we get to meet some new ones, and that is phenomenal. The whole cast of characters is diverse, and they all hold secrets that you just cannot wait to sink your teeth into. I definitely suggest reading all of the Shadowhunter books before this one, especially the prequel trilogy, because Jim and Tessa do show up, so spoilers. And it'll make the comprehension of this very fully developed world so much easier for you to understand. But I definitely say that this one is worth the read. The next book that I read was The Rest of Us Just Live Here by Patrick Ness, and I went into this book with such high hopes because the concept was so promising to see the characters that aren't the main characters of a normal book, and I was so excited to see where he was going to take us with this, and I was kind of disappointed. I guess I hyped it up way too much in my head because the characters were funny and diverse, and they were and the story had and Patrick Ness had such a unique way of telling the story, but it was so hard for me to get into it, and it definitely did not live up to my expectations, so I only gave it a 3 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. But the characters did become a lot more relatable as we got into the story, and it was majorly funny. There were some really, really funny moments, and I love the way that the story is set up. So if you aren't really if you're trying to get into fantasy for one, this is definitely a book to pick up. But if you're still leaning towards the contemporary, that's fine. Pick this book up too, because it's only the main characters that you see just a very little glimpse of that's in the fantasy section, and you get to see a lot of contemporary. It's perfectly meshed. Definitely pick this book up if you are just curious, and it's a very quick read, so I'd say read it. The next 3 books that I read were the first 3 of the Raven Cycle by Maggie Stiefvater. The Raven Boys, The Dream Thieves, and Blue Lily, Lily Blue. I flew through these, and I met a friend who was in my English class this semester, who loves the Raven Boys, and so I was able to text her and talk to her all through this, and that was such a new experience for me because it's been so long since I've been able to actually have a good, deep conversation about characters and theme and everything throughout the books without it just being one-sided like this, and it was so, so nice. I love The Raven Boys. I gave The Raven Boys a 4 out of 4. This was the second time I've read that one, and I think the second time through I got the concept a little better because there's so much going on and there's so many layers to this story. It's really hard to grasp at first. And then The Dream Thieves was my favorite by far. 5 out of 5 stars. I loved the concept of being able to pull things out of your dreams, and I can't say much more without doing any spoilers. This is definitely a series you should go into not knowing anything. And then Blue Lily Lily Blue was not my favorite. I gave that one 3 out of 5 stars. It definitely was a good setup for the final book, The Raven King, which came out this year. And I bought it. I got it 2 days early at Books A Million because they accidentally put it out. And I have finished it, but Yvonne, my English class friend, still has it with her, so I don't have it to show. But that is also my favorite cover art. And I'll get to that one in a minute. So, in between reading Blue Lily Lily Blue and The Raven King, I finished up House of Hades, which is one of my favorites because it's in the Heroes of Olympus series, and you get to see Percy and Annabeth's relationship develop a lot more, and you get to finally see them interact with each other again, just on a one-on-one basis, and pick it up. I love Rick Riordan's books. They're some of my favorite. 5 out of 5 stars. Definitely. Go lay down. Go lay down. I love you too. I love you too. Okay? Let me sit. So next I read The Raven King, which I gave 5 out of 5 stars. It is my second favorite in the series. I love the concept of the Dream Thieves, but this one was very beautifully written. And this series is definitely one that you could read 100 times and still not get everything out of it. And that's really all I can say. I do think that it was a little more hyped up than it was, but because I'd read everything so recently, the emotions with the characters definitely followed through with me. I don't know how you felt about it. Definitely let me know down in the comments. Then I started the Shadow and Bone series. And so, Shadow and Bone, I started this past week, and I loved it. 4 out of 5 stars. I love the concept. I love the characters. Mal gets on my nerves. I do not like Mal. I'm just going to put that out there. I know that that might be a unpopular opinion, but I do not like Mal. But Shadow and Bone, so good. Go pick up Leigh Bardugo's Shadow and Bone series, especially if you plan on reading Six of Crows. I've heard that you're supposed to read these first because it gives you a better insight into the world that Six of Crows is going to take place in. 4 out of 5 stars. I've really just sped read through these, so I don't have any comments on them that I can say without spoiling. If you want me to do an in-depth discussion on them, let me know and I will. But other than that, this is all I'm really going to say about it. And then I picked up Ruin and Rising on an accident and started to read the first 30 pages, and I was like, I do not understand anything that's going on. And then I realized that Siege and Storm was the second one. So I finished Siege and Storm, 4 out of 4. I've actually liked the middle book. I liked this one quite a bit. I love the introduction of new characters and the development, although I have complicated feelings about the Darkling. I'm not going to go any further than that. It's complicated. But Siege and Storm was just as good, 4 out of 5 stars, and I am currently reading Ruin and Rising, but since it is May, that'll go in my May wrap-up. So that's going to be it for this video. My TBR for May is just overflowing. I have no idea what I'm going to pick up besides finishing Ruin and Rising and definitely The Trials of Apollo, which comes out tomorrow, at least from when I'm filming this. Go pick those up. I love Rick Riordan and I love the Leigh Bardugo series. I'm definitely going to pick up Six of Crows this next month as well. And then I'm just going to read as much as possible. I have one more day of school left, and then it's summer, which means I will be working, getting things for my dorm room next semester, and reading and reading and reading. And I hope to actually do some book talks over the summer of all of the books that I read. Since it's been so hectic here with school and everything, I haven't been able to do the book talks that I've wanted to. But I definitely have thoughts on these books, and I definitely want to share them if you're willing to listen. So be sure to like and subscribe, and comment down below about the books that I've read this month. What are you reading next month? What did you read this month? Just talk with me, and I will definitely try to respond to your comments. That's it for this video. Bye!